this right here is the next mower that I'll be working to fix up, clean up, and then resell. I'm not a huge fan of these tractors. This is all what was available for sale. It's rocking the 15.5 horse intact Briggs. All 4 tires are soft. That one there is off the bead. I think I'll just... I'll just end up filling all these tires with automatic transmission fluid just to avoid from tubing all these tires. You can see the lens fell off on this. Someone put screws in to hold the lens back together. I got the foam for the seat is missing. I have it right here. I'm gonna see if I can silicone it down, and then I'll just tape up the cracks. I really don't think it's worth putting a whole seat on it, which I got this seat right here. If I could just get these, paint marks off in it, this is a great seat. Ended up, I picked this mower right here up at the same time as that. This was just down the road from that one. So I figured, hit 2 birds with 1 stone. This one is just a parts machine. We'll be focusing on that for the video. So the background I got of that machine right there was, it was used to cut their grass weekly, and the belt started jumping off. So they decided, we'll sell it, and they ended up buying a brand new machine. So I'd say I got something good to work with. First thing is get it running, and he said it should run, just it might need a carb clean, but that's about it. But we'll get it closer to the shop, and I'll fill all these tires up with ATF. Now the only prep work I did to this was I threw my own battery in, and I threw in a little bit of gas, just for testing purposes. But let's see if she cranks. Now she doesn't idle. That was just too easy. Runs and drives. It's definitely gonna need a carb cleaning. It surges a bit, it doesn't idle. So it's gonna need an oil change too. The oil is quite dirty in this. That's typical. Well, see if I can get it in the shop and put some ATF in the tires. Maybe it's just from where it hasn't run in such a long time. So when I fill these full of ATF, I just take, like this one, I'm gonna have to jack it up a little bit. You want the valve stem facing down. And then this is a valve stem core removal tool. Just don't lose it. Then I just take a funnel that's close to the side. I try to make it fit around the valve stem best as I can. Well, that's it of the old jug. Might have to like press on the tire in order to start a vacuum. Now this tire is ready to be aired up. It's a little bit messy, but it certainly beats tubing all these tires. Especially on a machine that's probably only worth maybe $350, $400. I'm gonna do this one off the beat, off camera, just so you don't have to watch me struggle, but it's the same thing as all these others. Looks like I got a little bit of a leak right here. This line isn't hooked up. I guess we'll have to hook that up real quick before I start some fires in the shop. Looks like this one's having issues with the carburetor flooding over. I tried to start it and it was hydrolocked. So I just pulled the plug out and you can see she used out. Battery must be dead. Well, let's see just how bad. There, I'd say she's cleaned out now. I'd say I found the main culprit right here. See, it doesn't want to return. It's stuck in the down position. I'm going to lube this a while and put it back in. So, I'm still having issues with this carburetor flooding. So, I'm going to open it up and see, you know, what's maybe the, what's it called? The float is sticking. This is one of those Nicky carburetors that nobody really likes. Well, right off the bat, the float isn't stuck. I did notice that this wasn't fully closed, so this might still be the problem. See, it's still sticking. I'll have to lube this a while. Since this is still surging, I'm gonna do what I usually do and soak the carburetor. You know, that's sealing pretty good. Right there. Wow, and the O-ring there's an O-ring down in this groove that usually goes bad. That's still in good shape. This carburetor really isn't that bad. I don't think it was that O-ring causing this to overfill. I'm gonna try cleaning it first. See what happens. And then I'm gonna continue to lube the fuel solenoid. While I'm waiting for the carburetor to soak, I'm gonna take this deck off. Now, I took this mount off already. Someone decided to wrap a piece of wire right around instead of putting a pin, and they didn't even use a cotter pin. So I thought this is kind of interesting to see. Of course, I'll end up putting a pin back in its place. So I'll get you on time lapse, and we'll jerk this deck off real quick. As you see, I finally got the deck off. What a pain this was to get it off. And I think I see what the main problem on why this won't engage was. Someone had it set so it was, you know, the engagement was way over here. And the clip went through here, and they had the spring hooked up right there. That's not how this is supposed to work. It's supposed to work so when the PTO is off, it's like this. The clamp is right on the pulley to keep the belt from jumping off, and so the pulley here comes to a stop. And what it's supposed to do is you have the clip come through, and the spring hooks in this hole. When it's engaged, gives it a little bit of tension, tightens the belt so it spins. So I might throw it on like this just to see if it turns over. But we got a little bit of a bigger problem. And that's when you flip the deck up, this is what you find. The blades, they spin. This one, a little dry. This one's quite dry. I'll probably just repack the bearings full of grease. But the main thing is, I gotta get these blades off and change them. They're utterly beat to dog snot. And then I'll, clean this deck up and repaint it. I try to save these stickers if I can, but I think this one right here is a little bit too far gone. Oh, this one I could just peel it off. Yeah, it's spoke too soon, I guess. I'm not gonna save it. I could have tried to just tape around it like I usually do. But on that one over there is in better shape. I'll tape around that one and save it. I'll just, I won't even try to put another sticker on. I'll just grind this and paint it. I also noticed too that this cover is, this, belt guard is broke. Not broke, just, bent. Bend it back down, and this too could have been another issue that they might have had. So, I'm going to throw the deck back underneath, and I'm going to try it. Alright, I got the deck just sitting here, and now, if I spin the motor over, you can see I got this to turn over. The motor, the belt was just routed wrong. The only thing really bad about this setup of MTDs is when you go to disengage, MTD allows so much slack in their belt that it comes right off. What I'll probably end up doing is I'll just make a belt keeper on this side. I think it's probably going to come off this pulley. I'll have to try it out. But I got a feeling if it's going to come off, it's going to come off on this pulley only. I might also have another belt on hand. But I think what I got here will work out. If I don't have a belt that's a little bit smaller than what I got. Like I said, I can always just come in and just make a belt keeper. So I'll jerk this deck back off, start cleaning it, and repaint it. while I'm already painting, this exhaust cover is just asking to be painted. Now that looks a lot better. And now it makes me want to paint the front axle. Just so it matches good. While I'm on a painting spree, I think I'll just do a little touch-up on this this back cover. There, that looks nice now. Alright, now that the patches are all welded, painted up, it's time to throw these brand new blades on the deck. Alright, the deck is back on. It doesn't appear like it's overflowing like it was before. Let's give this a try. I'm gonna have to make a belt keeper. The belt literally just came off, which no big deal. I can just make one of those with the box pan brake. I'm gonna see if I can try it on some field grass. See how well this mows. well, it mows and it runs better. But I think I'm going to have to change the deck belt on it. It's not really throwing the grass far enough. It's more or less just cutting it and just kind of just setting like laying the grass back down. It's not really, you know, throwing it far. So I'll end up putting a new belt on. But overall, it runs, drives, cuts. It doesn't flood the carburetor anymore. I mentioned it earlier with the seat that I was just gonna lay the whole thing with Gorilla Tape. Not normally what I do. I don't usually go this approach. But I suppose from a distance it looks okay. Didn't cut too bad. It's not really throwing the grass. It's just, you know, stacking it down. MTD may give you a cheap tractor, but you know, they do give you a good quality cut. The only other thing that this really needs is an oil change. Oil change, a new belt, and a battery. Good cleaning. And this one will be ready for sale. I like to put a little bit of time on this one if I can. Just to, like, the steering's a little bit on the stiff side. It is working out. But I like to put, a few hours on this. Just to get so it starts working good again. So I'm gonna see if I can take the belt off without having to take the deck back off again, run it to town and grab a new belt for it. Probably even grab another battery too while I'm in town. Change the oil. I did change the air filter. It's not a new one, but it's a used one. It's at least better than what was in it previously. So I'm just gonna roll with what I got in this. Oh, not a bad machine right here. I'm hoping I can get $350, $400 for this. Might be a little overpriced, but that's what I'm gonna try to get out of this. I think once I advertise that there's brand new blades on this, new battery, runs good, we'll see what happens. First thing I gotta do is just get the belt replaced. So I think I got this deck figured out with the belt. The front adjustment was way out of adjustment, so I just got it leveled the way it should be, and now it seems to be working pretty good now. The only thing I'll have to do is make a belt keeper for this side. For some reason, MTD allows a lot of slack in their belts. I had the same issue with that Troy built mower. Those belt keepers, you gotta have them on these MTDs. They allow so much slack in the belt that if the covers aren't on, the belt just pops off. So before I do that, I've tried buffing it, and it's nice and shiny and smooth. So as you can kind of compare to where I haven't buffed yet, it's quite a difference. So I'll put you on time lapse and I'll really start buffing this machine. So for buffing compound, this is what I've been using. I thought I'd try this stuff out, and so far I like it. But I think this is looking pretty good. Just compare the hood to where I haven't even touched yet. It's quite a difference. I'll cut back to when I have the whole thing buffed. So I installed this belt keeper. Just does a simple job. It just keeps the belt from coming off. The only thing I got left to do now is just change the oil. And I kind of cut an old cork tube to, since this one's got the plug here you unscrew, it doesn't go over the frame. Well, I'd say that about wraps this one up. I'm going to end up listing this one for sale. I'm going to ask $400 for it. One more thing I'll probably do, I'll just do it off camera, is I'll just take another look at the carburetor. I think it's got that gasket and the... I made a video about it before where these Nicky carburetors like to leak. This one still leaks and ends up hydrolocking the motor, so I'll take a look at that O-ring to see if it's bad. But since you've already seen me do it, at least I hope you've seen that video. It's the same procedure. I just don't have to change the oil since I got this fuel shutoff installed. I wouldn't want to change out clean oil. So that wraps this one up for right now. Actually, now that I think of it, this seat didn't turn out too bad. Not for just layering it with just Gorilla Tape. Yeah, I'll have to see what I can get out of it. So, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.